Oh, boo-hoo. 47-3. The Bills lost. Everyone's hiding their heads. Hide in your heads if you're a Bills fan. Welcome to Believers Talk. My name is Joe. Don't hold your heads down too low. We're still Bills fans, guys. We still love our team. Welcome. If this is your first time here, again, my name is Joe. Wanted to get on here on this Monday during football season, Monday Night Football. It's halftime. Hope you're enjoying the Jets and the Lions game. Jets are up 17-10. Want to talk a little bit about that game yesterday. I did get a chance to rewatch it. It was tough to watch the second time, but we had to do that. So wanted to get into some discussion, and also wanted to go over some game stats for you guys as well. Again, a lot of people down today. But you know what? I think about last year, and last year we had a game we lost 47-10, and we still made it to the playoffs. Obviously, completely different team this year, but we lost 47-10 at home, and we still end up making the playoffs. So, and that was against the Saints team who looked really good back then, and maybe this Baltimore team is better than we thought they were, or maybe this was just the Bills looking bad. And we'll discuss that a little bit as we go on here. But again, thank you for joining me on Believers Talk. If you haven't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, because we do go live for all. We're going to try to go live for all the games. I know that we won't be live for two: the Patriots game on Monday night and the Jags game week 11 or 12. I forget which one that is. That's right after our bye week. But other than that, we will be live here for every game, giving commentary, play-by-play, live reaction if you were with us yesterday. First of all, thank you for joining us and supporting the channel. Secondly, you were given hopefully you were given a good time, even though we did lose 47-3 to the Baltimore Ravens, starting 0-1 on the season. So go over some team stats real quick. The Baltimore Ravens beat us 26-10 in first downs. Third down efficiency, they were 6 for 14. We were 2 for 15. Fourth down efficiency, we were 0 for 1. Rushing yards, they had 117. We had 83. Passing yards, they had 252. They had 70. Sacks, they had 6 sacks for 28 yards. We had 2 sacks for 8 yards. So they had 6 for 28. We had 2 for 8. Interceptions thrown, Peterman had 2. The Ravens had 0. Punts average, we had 8 punts, guys. 8 punts averaged about 50 yards. They had 5 for 51 yards. 10 penalties on our side for 100 yards exactly. 9 on their side for 78. They had a fumble lost. They had 4 fumbles in this game. Only one of them was lost. We had a fumble, but it was not lost. Time possession, they controlled. They beat us by more than 10 minutes in time possession. So those are the team stats. I mean, just looking at those, obviously those are going to favor Baltimore in a lot of different ways. We need to be able to jump on more of those fumbles, guys. I didn't realize it was 4. I knew they had a couple. That special teams one on the punt, we need to be able to jump on that one. Tayron Jones really messed up that one. I know it was wet. I know the field conditions weren't the greatest, but we can't lose 3 O-line starters and expect to win games. But I keep trying to remind people we only lost 2. Because hey, Vox A7, yeah, we're trying to break that game down. Horrible game for so many reasons, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, Cody Glenn wasn't our starter much last year. Everyone keeps saying we lost 3 offensive line starters. Not really. Deion Dawkins was our starter for most of last year. So really, I mean, they were both Pro Bowl starters. Don't get me wrong there, but we didn't lose 3 offensive starters, but our offensive line is horrible. That's not disguise that. And our quarterback play was also horrible. So, but again, guys, like I said, last year we did lose that one game 47-10. So it's not the end of the world. It's still week 1. Obviously, we have a lot of work to do. Probably going to name Josh Allen starter. Do we need to sign a veteran QB? I think it's a little late for that. I was saying that in the preseason. I was saying that preseason week 1, 2, and 3. I was hoping that we'd sign a veteran quarterback to QB that 4th preseason game, but instead we have AJ McCarron, who's back and healthy, play the whole 4th game, and then we trade him. So not the brightest move, I don't think, but if we trade AJ McCarron, we probably should get another veteran on there. And to be honest, I don't know what to do with Nathan Peterman at this point. Hopefully Josh Allen is named our starting quarterback for next week. I just, as I go back and forth, Josh Allen is going to be fine. But I still think he should have a veteran behind him just to kind of show him the ropes. But what if Josh Allen isn't fine? Then where are we? I go back and forth on that a little bit, guys, as far as, do we want Josh Allen to start immediately? If he's ready, I absolutely want him to start because Nathan Peterman, we cannot win with him. We cannot win with Nathan Peterman as our quarterback. That's just the truth. As we saw yesterday, it just cannot happen. Even a couple of completions I thought were not that great. So, and he only had a couple completions. So, but we need to start Josh Allen. I do believe that to some degree, but if he's not ready, I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do with the quarterback position. You can't blame all on the offensive line for that reason. You can't blame all on the wide receivers for that reason either. There were a couple dropped balls. There were, Kelvin Benjamin had a nice jump ball thrown up to him, and he actually did come down with it, but when he hit the ground, it popped out, and that can't happen. If you're supposed to be our number one wide receiver, you can't be doing that. Some bright spots for this game. I know it doesn't seem like there are many bright spots, but man, Marcus Murphy continues to impress with his punt returns and with his running game. I mean, even his runs. You look at the stats. He had 6 carries for 31 yards. That's over 5 yards per carry. That's pretty good. And then his punt returns, we were looking at 5 returns for 165 yards. So that's a 33-yard average. So that's really good. That's a way to flip field position real quick if you have a guy averaging 33 yards per punt return. So that's something to really hang your hat on. He did look really good. Tremaine Edmonds, he looked pretty good in his first game as a rookie. I thought that fumble that he caused on Collins, they forced on Collins, I thought that was a great hit. Fundamental tackle. And I really look forward to seeing his progression as we go. I don't blame a lot of the points scored on our defense. I know that might be hard to say, but at the same time, they did start at least twice inside the red zone. So that's immediately giving them ball with only 20 yards to go before they scored a touchdown. Between the botched punt that we fumbled and they got at like the 5-yard line, I believe it was. And then there was a pick 6 that they returned. The guy who intercepted stepped out of the 8, but I think they gave it to him at the 3 or 4-yard line. So those 2 possessions alone, I don't really put on our defense. And the defense is also under a lot of pressure because they know our offense is not going to score a lot of points. So they were under a lot of pressure. And so a lot of this I don't put on our defense. I feel like Gaines was a big weakness on our defense. We really need to get Vontae Davis back, who ended up being a scratch right before the game started. And that's another thing. The defense was on the field for 40 minutes. When you don't get a first down in the whole first half, your defense is going to be worn out. We had 33 yards in the first half. I think we had 5 3-and-outs in the first half, and then we had 1 drive that ended in a turnover. That's not – your defense is not going to do well when that happens. At least on the scoreboard, it's not going to look that good. Because not only did we go 3-and-out, that also means that field position was in Baltimore's favor the whole game too. And it was, Baltimore started with the ball around midfield. They're better every possession, it seemed like. So, other than that first possession where they allowed them to go 80 yards in 10 plays, I don't think a lot of this lies on our defense. Again, I felt like we got to Joe Flacco a couple times. We had 2 sacks, but I feel like we pressured him enough to make him move around a lot. It just seemed like, either A, we missed the sack. There were a couple times where we missed the sack, and then B, there were a couple times where we was able to slide out of the pocket, get rid of some pressure or step up to alleviate the pressure and then find someone open downfield. So Peyton Manning started the same way. I'm not going to start comparing Josh Allen to Peyton Manning, but Josh Allen played better than Nathan Peterman did in this game. And this is with a Baltimore Ravens defense who at the time was looking for the shutout. Sorry, I'm also watching halftime highlights of the Jets and Lions. So again, I hope you guys are enjoying that. But here's the stats on our quarterbacks. Josh Allen went 6 for 15 for 74 yards, was sacked 3 times. He ran the ball 4 times for 26 yards. He also led us on our only scoring drive, which was that field goal. And then Nathan Peterman went 5 for 18 for 24 yards, 2 interceptions, and then the 3 sacks as well. He had 1 carry for 1 yard. But that was, again, him just trying to get away from the pressure. And he probably fell forward for that 1 yard because he did not look good at any point in this game. You can't look at it and say, "Oh, Nathan Peterman looked good here." I feel like if you're the head coaching, or if you're the coaching staff, or if you're Nathan Peterman, there's nothing you can look at this game and say, like, "Oh, you did that well." Maybe he stood on the sideline while he didn't kneel for the national anthem. Maybe that's what he did well. I don't know, but there's not much you could say that he did well. Overall total, we didn't even have 100 passing yards, guys. We threw for 98 passing yards. That's obviously not going to get done. We need to be able to rely on the run more. LaShawn McCoy only had 7 rushes in this game. I don't care how far we're down. We're not going to come back if we can't lean on McCoy a little bit. 7 rushes for 22 yards is not going to get it done. I have that same bad feeling, Brandon. I feel like if Josh Allen was going to be named the starter, he would have been named the starter today. I feel like we're going to make it look like it's competition. And Sean McDermott has some sort of man crush on Nathan Peterman. I don't know if it's because that's the first quarterback he drafted, or if he feels like Josh Allen is not ready. I'm not sure, but I do feel like that might be the case as well. But we'll see. Yeah, Josh Allen is a rookie, and there's lots of growing pains that go with being a rookie, and I understand that, and I think he'll be just fine. He's come from a background of people who've doubted him. That's why he went to Wyoming, because not too many people were. I think that was the only college that gave him a scholarship opportunity. So he went to Wyoming and proved what he can do there. So he's on track for 208 passes. You're talking about Allen? Possibly, but again, by that time the Ravens are up 40-0. I don't think they're playing as aggressive. I could say that, but on the other hand, maybe they're looking for the shutout as well. I know to some defenses pitching the shutout is a big thing. I do believe the Ravens had a few shutouts last year. I think they had 3 or 4 shutouts that last year. So obviously their defense is pretty good. So we can kind of lean our hat on that a little bit and say, maybe that's something to lean our hat on. Another big news in this game was that Marcus Murphy was pretty much our number 2 back. I actually think he was in for more plays than McCoy, just because of the way the game went. But we didn't see Chris Ivory in the game until really late, and he only had 3 carries for 3 yards. So it looks like Marcus Murphy has overtaken that number 2 running back position. So that's good to see, because again, he continues to impress, guys. We'll talk about the receivers and the tight ends, but there's not really much to talk about. Zay Jones had 3 receptions, but all 3 of them were in the second half, and the game was well in hand for 26 yards. Logan Thomas had 1 reception for 24 yards. Kroom had 2 receptions for 10. Holmes and Benjamin and McCoy all had 1 reception, and then Curley had 2 receptions for 7 yards. So not much to talk about there, but again, there's not going to be much to talk about in the receiving game when the quarterback play is that bad. You just can't have that. On the 1 interception Peterman threw, Benjamin, ended up being offensive pass interference, which is how he got wide open. Benjamin's wide open in the middle of the field, and you overthrow him by a good 4 or 5 yards, and then there's the Ravens safety just playing center field who gets an interception because you can't hit your wide open wide receiver over the middle. That's not acceptable. You need to be able to make that throw. Would have gotten called back for offensive pass interference? Absolutely. But the quarterback can't do anything about the pass interference. Make the throws. Make the throws you're supposed to make. This is the NFL. So you can't, we were talking about this a little bit yesterday on the live stream. You can't say that this is not the NFL. You can't just simply say, oh, baby steps, let's keep improving a little bit by a little bit. This is the NFL. If you can't do it, someone's going to come in and do it. Or we need to find someone who can do it, because this is not going to be acceptable. We cannot lose games by 44 points every week. We have people, I was listening to radio on the way home from work, and where do they have the Bills? Of course, dead last. The Bills are obviously the worst team in the NFL, is what I think Kane said. So, and that's why it was overthrown. Why was it overthrown? I'm confused. Oh, because he's aiming the ball. That's fine. Okay. I need to read more. I don't like it, but I'll do it. But you have to be able to make those throws, because if you can't make those throws in the NFL, we're going to find someone who can. Josh Allen can make that throw. It might take him a little bit of time to get that down, but I know he can make that throw. And he could put a little zing on the ball as well. Detroit just scored a touchdown, for those of you who are interested in that as well. But looking more into this game, how should miss that 52-yarder? Edmonds caused a fumble. I think that was in the second quarter. Really, actually, could have probably changed the whole game if we would be able to score on that drive. If we would be able to put a drive together, maybe even just get a couple first downs and get a field goal on that drive. That might have changed the complexion of this game a little bit. Not saying Baltimore still would not have won that game because it was 20-0 at the time. But that's something we can look at too. Our offense needs to be able to move the ball forward, guys. We cannot have games where we don't have over 100 yards of offense in a half. We need to be able to do that. That's not a hard task. That's not something that is hard to ask for. But Jorges had a great day, I thought. He had that one punt where he mishandled the punt and he fumbled it, and that was completely his fault. I know it was wet conditions, and so the ball was slippery, but yeah, the receivers need to get used to. It's like that Brett Favre effect, right? You need to get used to catching the missiles because Josh Allen's coming. Hopefully, Josh Allen's coming. So, but Jorges had 8 punts for 397 yards. That's a 50-yard average. That's not that bad. As long as 58 yards. He had 3 inside the 20. Punt returning, Curley had 2 for 10, and Murphy 1 for 9. Defending, we had Milano was our leading tackler with 7 tackles. We had, like I said, we had 2 sacks, 1 by Edmonds, and then Kyle Williams got half a sack as well. So that's good. It's good to see Kyle Williams out there. I think Kyle Williams did a decent job as well. He was in there on early in the game, and on the first drive of the game, Flacco mishandled a handoff that he was doing to Collins, and Kyle Williams was right there, ready to pounce on it. Flacco beat him to it, but he was right there. He helped with a sack. He was getting some pressure. Like I said, we did get pressure on Joe Flacco from time to time. It was just that was not consistent enough. So Trent Murphy's back. That's kind of exciting. He played pretty well. I think he had 2 penalties in this game. So we want to be able to stop that. The penalties killed us, guys. Again, in a 47-3 game, there isn't one facet of the game that beat us. I mean, obviously we beat ourselves, and the Ravens were just a better team too. So you put those 2 things together, and we're just going to lose. But penalties, you can't have over 100 yards in penalties. That's just not going to help you win. 10 penalties for 100 yards just isn't going to cut it. They had 9 penalties, but I believe I just said it was for a little bit less yardage. So you can't do that. You have to be able to be a little more disciplined. That personal foul call on Deion Dawkins, I know the game's well at hand at that point, but you really need to cool down. Again, play with pride, play with some heart, and just be able to play a full 60-minute game without letting your temper get the better of you, because there might come a situation where that's a big play, and we need to know that we can rely on you not to lose your cool out there and cost us 15 yards. Those are the kind of penalties that you don't like to see. The pre-snap penalties and the personal foul penalties, those are the ones that you just don't want to see. Every once in a while you're going to have a holding. Every once in a while you're going to have a pass interference. I understand that. But you definitely don't want there to be personal fouls, unsportsmanlike fouls, and pre-snap penalties. Those can easily be avoided. There's still a couple fouls I wasn't so sure about. Roy got called for a false start for faking a snap count or faking a snap, and then Baltimore moved. And again, this was early in the game. Not saying it would have changed the outcome at all. Again, none of these facts will change the outcome of this game. But then I watched the whole game, and that's how Roy snapped the ball every single time. He put his head down real quick and then snapped it. So if that's something he's doing every single snap, you can't call him for it when they jump off sides. They need to know what he does, unless and it's possible. I mean, obviously I can't hear what they're saying. It's possible he might have said something that made it sound like a fake snap count, but if he's doing the same thing every single play, you cannot fault him when they jump off sides. So a big win for Baltimore. They are 1-0 now. As the experts expected this to be correct, this is exactly what they expected. They expected us to get crushed, and we did, 47-3. But again, guys, we did give up 47 points last year at home to the Saints, and we still end up being 9-7. So hopefully you guys haven't given up hope just yet. Josh Allen hopefully will be named the starting quarterback. Hopefully he's ready. If not, this all counts as experience. 2018 needs to be a season where we get ready for Josh Allen to take over this team. If that leads to winning, then great. I believe it was either Brandon Beane or Sean McDermott who, when they first came on the scene, said, we need to look at the present and the future. So, we need to look at to win at both situations. And so I hope that that's what they're planning to do. I think the best way to do that at this point is to start Josh Allen. We just can't win with Nathan Peterman under quarterback, and there's no good that comes out of Nathan Peterman being our quarterback. At this point, he has shown us what he can do. He did play decent last year in the Indianapolis Colts game, but that's about it. You can't blame the weather, because Flacco played in the same weather and he killed us. I mean? Like he cut us up every single chance he had. So you can't blame the weather unless you're willing to say, well, Flacco's a veteran. What's that to do with rain? I hope Nathan Peterman played in rain before. I hope this wasn't his first game. I mean, he did decent in a 3-foot snow game. So I don't know why that would be an excuse, but Josh is going to be Rookie of the Year poisonous. I hope so. I hope Josh Allen is Rookie of the Year. Maybe we can have Josh Allen as Offensive Rookie of the Year and Tremaine Edmonds as Defensive Rookie of the Year. Have a thing like the Saints did last year. It's going to take a lot, and I think with those two things happening, that might help us make it to the playoffs. But we'll see what happens. Again, Tremaine Edmonds keeps getting better and better each week. Even if you look at the preseason to now, I think he keeps getting better and better. It's going to come. And I think hopefully we get Vontae Davis back. I think that might be a big help. Again, EJ Gaines just did not look good out there. Neither did Tavon Johnson, to be honest with you, before he got hurt. Hopefully the injury is not that big of a deal. He made a great tackle, great form tackle, just hit the upper leg pad of the running back, nailed him in the head as he went to make the tackle, as he was coming across the field. So hopefully that's not a serious injury. Hopefully it was just maybe a stinger or something of that nature. But yeah, he definitely needs to do better as well. But he's a younger guy. I think that we can teach him a little bit more. But I do want to see. Hey, thanks for the subscription, X Chevy. Yeah, we'll see you later. Again, turn on your notifications. We will be going live. I'll be going live Thursday or Friday for the pregame for the Chargers game, getting us ready for that. So I do look forward to that. I look forward to the Chargers game. I think we have a good shot winning that game too. I don't think that we should hang our hat on a 47-3 game and think, oh, we're done for the season. No, guys, we got a long way to go. I'm excited for football season to start. I'm excited to be able to watch Monday Night Football, even if it is the Jets and Lions, and the Jets might win this game. So that's a little disappointing. But looking at our division, the Patriots won 27-20. The Dolphins won in a 7-hour game, but they beat the Titans. And the Jets right now are tied 17-17 on Monday Night Football. So it's very possible at this juncture that the Bills will be the only 0-1 team in their division. And everyone says the Patriots are going to the division, and they're probably right. But the last thing we need is to finish in the basement this year behind the Jets and Dolphins. That'll be taking a big step back than from last year. But that's about it. Yesterday, everyone talked about Tyrod. If you look at Tyrod's stats, they weren't that great. I know they tied Pittsburgh, and everyone's going to say, oh, well, it wasn't a loss. But, I think he went like 15 for 50 or something like that. Like, it was something ridiculous. Now he had a rushing TD too. But you get 6 turnovers from a team, you expect to probably beat them. So I don't like talking about Tyrod Taylor much anymore because, well, this is the team we have, guys. This is the team we have, and the Jets score a touchdown. So they're going to be up 24-17. But this is the team we have, guys. This is our Bills team. We got to support them. Even if for some odd reason Sean McDermott decides to stick with Nathan Peterman, a lot of us will not be happy, including myself. And I'll be less excited for that LA Chargers game because then I'll expect Nathan Peterman to duplicate what he did last year in the LA Chargers game. But maybe he'll prove us all wrong, because at this point, I don't think there's many Bills fans who are in support of Nathan Peterman. I think a lot of people have begged for Josh Allen to start, and we'll see what happens. No announcement has been made yet, but another thing is we want to see Ray McLeod get healthy. I want to see him in the game. I think that might help our receiving core a little bit, get a little more speed. It didn't look like our receivers were getting a lot of time to get separation. I mean, as I was watching, Zay Jones got separated a couple more times than people realize, especially in the slot. But by the time he got open, it seemed like Nathan Peterman was already running for his life. But I do believe that Zay Jones might still have an impact on this team. Again, he had 3 receptions in this game, all pretty much when the game was well in hand. He only had 1 target, I believe, in the whole first half. So, we need to target him a little bit more, I think. We need to open up the field a little bit more. Again, our tight ends were not targeted nearly as much. I want to say that I wasn't impressed with Dable for this game, but I don't know if it was him, if it was the players that he has, where you're going to try to figure that out. There were some schemes. We ran shotgun 5 wide receiver set. Well, yeah, 5 wide receiver sets, but McCoy was one of them out there. About 3 or 4 times in this game. Like, there were different formations that we were trying to throw at them, especially early on, that just weren't working. So I don't know if it's him trying to figure out what's the best fit for this team, or if it's just we don't have the personnel to do what he wants to do, or if it's him just not being a good offensive coordinator. We can't say after just 1 week, guys. That's something we have to give time to see how that develops before we can just judge that. So, but again, thank you for joining me. I know we're all a little depressed here on this Monday after the 47-3 loss, but it is just week 1. There's 15 weeks to go. As Philip Rivers said, this is like the Tour de France. These are just stage up there. There's 16 stages. We lost the first stage, So did 14 other teams. Well, after tonight, so 16 other teams. So, or 15 other teams. We're the 16th team. So we look forward to seeing you all next week. Like I said, we'll be on here again live this week to talk probably about who's named the starting quarterback, when that's named, to talk about the Chargers game. And then we will be live for the Chargers game on Sunday at 1 o'clock. I want you all to join me. I hope you all can. Again, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Turn on your notifications. Like us on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. One of those 2. I'm not sure how it goes, but till next time, go Bills.